I'm extremely excited to take a look at the second LEGO Legend of Zelda set ever released, which is the Ocarina of Time Final Battle set. This release is March 1st, 2026 for $130 in the United States with a total of 1,003 pieces and 3 minifigures. This was sent to me early by LEGO, but all opinions in this video are my own. I'm absolutely blown away by the design of this Ganondorf minifigure, which is detailed on like every corner that you look at this design. I mean, first off, we have a completely new hair-ear combo, which also has some forehead detail at the very top. Love the printing on the forehead there. That looks fantastic. And I love that olive coloring that we have at the base with the ears and that forehead design. And also the locks of hair is just captured with such intricate detailing. It's such a great piece. Then we have a nice part usage for an armor piece that we've seen in themes like LEGO Star Wars, but it has completely new printing all the way from the front to the side shoulders right there. And you can even see at the back with those shoulder pad designs. This is the one that has 2 studs at the very back. And yeah, that fits perfectly for the character, even if it wasn't specifically made for this set as a base piece. I absolutely love the design of this cape as well. I mean, look at the printing on that fabric. That looks fantastic. Now, this is a one-hole cape, which I like that, as opposed to one that's you have to actually fold the 2 top parts. I don't know, this just works a lot smoother on the minifigure without having any of those parts bent at the top. The only thing that's kind of awkward is the inside design has these 2 copyrights that say LEGO and Nintendo, which is a little bit distracting when you have a nice replication of that printing that's on the other side as well. Anyways, with the cape and armor piece removed, you could get a better look at that torso, which even has printing at the very top right here, despite a lot of that being covered by that armor piece. And you could even see some printing with these dual molded legs right here, which continues to the side of this minifigure, all the way to the bottom with those shoe designs, which you can see they even have like some shaping at the back right here. Sorry, I'm just so impressed by this minifigure, and that's present on both sides of the minifigure, including dual molded arms, which are perfect as well. As for the back torso printing, let's get around there. You can see some more of that detailing that was present at the front there. That looks great, even though, like I said, this is covered by the cape and armor piece, but LEGO just went above and beyond. And the minifigure has 2 faces, one with a disgruntled look, and then one with an evil smile. Dang it, this just makes me want to play Super Smash Bros. Melee. One thing I really appreciate is that while that elaborate hair ear piece / forehead piece has the eyebrows molded in there, they still print the eyebrows on both sides of this minifigure's head. This set has a new minifigure for Zelda, which isn't our first Zelda. Of course, we got one in the Deku Tree set, which is the one based off of Breath of the Wild. But it's the first time we're getting one based off of her Ocarina of Time design, well, adult design from Ocarina of Time. And I absolutely love this new hair earpiece, which, yeah, is different from the one in the Breath of the Wild variant. Love the shaping on the hair on that piece as well. Great use of that dress piece, which I like the purple color that they use at the base there. And you can see more dual molded arms, this time with the top half having one of those gold designs to it, which is nice to get, like a pearl gold. Speaking of pearl gold, we also have a design that exists on other characters for this little shoulder piece, but works perfectly for the minifigure here. Love the printing with a different gold shine on the torso and legs going on there. The torso and leg printing just looks fantastic in general. And much like Ganondorf, we have an alternate face design for Zelda as well. And yeah, this is her outfit design from Super Smash Bros. Melee. Look, I love Ocarina of Time a lot, but I more relate these appearances to their Smash Bros. Melee appearances. And here's the printing at the back of her torso. And finally, there's the hero of time, Zelda himself. Okay, I just wanted to see how many people were going to start typing in the comments, "It's Link, not Zelda." It was just a prank, bro. No, the design here is the exact same one that's found in the Deku Tree set for Link, at least adult Link, because that also gave us a young Link design, speaking of Super Smash Bros. Melee. And I love that minifigure from that set, and this gives a cheaper opportunity to get such an iconic design for such an iconic video game character, where we had a completely new piece for the Hylian shield there, which has since been used in non-Zelda sets, like it even popped up in like LEGO Friends recently with different prints and things like that. The Master Sword, which is such a lovely piece as well. That piece only ever appearing in the Deku Tree set. That awesome hat and hair and ear combo piece, which is just one whole piece in such an elaborate mold that I've wanted my whole life. I mean, throwback to like buying stuff like the elf design from LEGO minifigures or the fishing gnome design just to make my own version of LEGO Link. The design for the torso and legs looks excellent as well. Once again, with dual molded legs and dual molded arms. The dual molded legs having printing at the side. Some nice back torso printing as well. And much like the other characters in this set, there's an alternate face, which, yeah, this is the same face prints as the one found in the Deku Tree set. This set includes a lovely brick-built design for Ganon, which I absolutely love the angles they capture here. How they capture this design without making it look robotic, even though it is this large brick built in a minifigure set. And also the different color schemes and even materials like this cape at the back, which is completely exclusive to this set. It's a very posable design as well. The different points of articulation include the head, which is on a miniature ball joint. You could kind of see there. You can move these horns back and forth just a bit. Even the locks of hair at the back are individually clipped on. So each of them not only has a movement at the top there, but then there's another clip section so that you could get positioning with the bottom braids there. Very impressive. There's that socket connection so that you could not only move the arms up and down, which this is present on both of them, but also you could pull them upward like this, get some different angles forward. And then there's another point of articulation with this midsection right here, which you could move up and down. This uses a Technic pin design for that movement there. Then at the ends with these little fingers, each of those are clipped on. This one doesn't have any movement, it's only these three. Again, it's a mirrored build, so the same goes with these arms right here and these little fingers. And then at the bottom here, we have some joints right at where the legs meet this middle section right here. Those are actually large ball joints, so you can get some movement there. And then at the top of the legs, there's this large ball joint. And then near the feet, you have another ball joint as well. And the feet at the very bottom have a Technic pin connection, and you could spin those around 360 degrees. And then at the very back, at the tail, there's a large ball joint connection at the base. Then you have these miniature ball joints, so you could spin that around and position that as you'd like. We'll have fun posing this guy in a little bit, but let's take a closer look at the details of this build beyond the articulation. I absolutely love how the head is built here, which uses pieces that shouldn't look so organic as this head turns out to be, where we have like this triangular brick piece right here with some lovely printing at the top and with those side eye designs. This heart-shaped tile piece used upside down with a printing for the snout. And then those sloped 1x2 pieces on both sides with printing for the teeth popping out there. But all that comes together for a very natural looking head for this pig-like design of Ganon. I love the use of those pizza slice corner pieces, as I call them, with the tile right there to capture the ears. The build for the horns, as I showed, have some movement to them, but just have some nice shaping using those pipe corner pieces, and then like a cone piece and one of those fang pieces at the very end. All of that comes together really well. I love the design for the hair at the back, which looks very natural too. The coloring and shaping with the hair is just about perfect as well. If you're wondering how that cape is secured, basically they have these studs with holes in them where that goes over these little hook pieces right here. And those secure these short poles where the top holes of that cape just go into place at the top right there. The design at the front has two of these stud builds and then this circular translucent tile build. I like the design for the fabric replication right here. While these are actual tile designs, I like this printed 2x2 tile that is used throughout the set. There's a total of 7 in the set. Most are used with that middle section there, but then you get some on the arms as well, near the hand design. And those arms have a nice shaping with the shoulder right there. I especially like the use of this piece right here, which just gives it an organic round look, and that fits into place perfectly. And then the use of this piece right here, which adds that beast-like design. That's a nice part usage on that unconventional 2x2 that I've seen pop up in sets here and there. And then the swords are held with both of those hands. And I really like this blade, which I haven't seen in other sets before. That's used twice, and that has a nice smooth design to it. I like the shaping with that handle right there and with these parts right here, which are clipped on. And while you have this blue design kind of awkwardly showing there, it's always covered when you have the fingers just closed in like that. So that's not a problem whatsoever. Just gotta push those fingers down. And you could easily remove each of the swords if you'd like, just by pulling it out of that little Technipin connection. And Ganon still looks incredibly menacing even with one sword. I really love how the shaping of the legs is captured, not only with that peculiar angle that is captured, which we showed with those different midsections of ball joints, but you also have the use of this tire right here, which is such a strange part usage over part of the design with the ball joint, yet it does actually add a lot. Now this one's a lot looser than this one, which I can't figure out why that is. This one just has always been fixed into the right place, but it doesn't really matter. It's not a looseness that I could notice right away. And I like how that gives more shaping to the underside right here of those legs. It really captures a pig-like look going on there. And with the feet, I like the roundness at the bottom. And once again, nice part usage with that modified 2x2 we were talking about earlier. And I love how hooves are captured there. I also like the use of these 1x2 circular tiles, which just give more detailing to the knees. But that's really it for the front. For a closer look at the back, that cape covers up most of the back, but it's still rounded off there. It doesn't have like an exposed underside, which is very much appreciated. They didn't need to, but I'm glad they did. I also like how the back of the legs is rounded off as well. Once again, using that quarter of a circle round sloped piece right there, which looks fantastic. We also have some roundness with that back tail part connecting to there with that ball joint we talked about before. And with that tail, with the mini ball joints we covered before, I love how they have the translucent pieces going on there. And of course, this is like a hit point for Link in this final battle. The eclectic colors work really well. For some posing, this just makes me wish they included the bow and light arrows in this set. Oh, he's just sitting down. This is a little version of me, Link. I want you to have it. The rest of the build is a diorama which make up the ruins of the final battle of Ocarina of Time. This being an 18+ set, the focus isn't on playability, not to say there aren't any play features, but rather there's a focus on displayability. There's literal indentations in the ground at the left side of this build to fit that big Ganon build. But if you remove the Ganon build from that section, those don't even look out of place. There's also removable clear pole pieces, one for Navi and one for Link, to have Link go in for that pounce to slash Ganon. For that play feature I mentioned earlier, towards the right of this build, there's this ruin right here, where by pushing at the back, you can make Ganon rise from the ruin. It's a play feature we've seen in some other sets before, and you can see how Ganondorf just attaches to those two studs at the top. The sides of the build do a good enough job concealing that Ganondorf minifigure. The black border surrounding this diorama build is a nice trim to the design. I do like how at the front they have this Triforce build, which is just a very clever use of those triangular pieces with the clips at the back, and even the LEGO Ninjago Arrow Blade centerpiece, which is a nice part usage. I really like the angles that they get with these rubble pieces. Like, you can see how this is clipped on, but it has a very peculiar triangular design to it. This part having a diagonal angle, but it's like secured onto the base there. And most impressive is the section with the tower and then this little part that Zelda stands on, where they capture some really neat angles by using one of those 4x4 pieces that you'd attach a circular 4x4 brick to in such an impressive way. I really love how that's built up. And that's used for both the tower and then that front section there, which I like the use of those Nexonite shield pieces to have some cracked kind of tiling going on there. And there's two sections where you could attach Princess Zelda. And this one is one that is sloped in a certain way, just by how that's attached with one of these pieces. This connection with that clear pole piece and some translucent yellow dish pieces and a translucent yellow cone piece, as well as one of those accessory holder pieces, is a build that kind of represents her powers being used in this scene. That's pretty clever. Clever part usage with the unicorn horn pieces and the newish 2-high plate build. There's also a secret here, where by removing that top part, you can see there's actually 3 hearts inside there, so that Link could replenish his health. Finally, there's that slice of a tower going on there, which I previously pointed out, the design of a clear connection at this little left window right here to have Link in that slashing pose. To the back, there's also a build for Navi being held on a clear pole piece. This is the same dish print for Navi that we saw in the Deku Tree set. That pole is attached to the back of the tower right here, which has kind of an awkward appearance of a blue Technic pin piece. Much like the Deku Tree, the tower build is a facade. There's a very small open back right here, which holds a build for the Megaton hammer. This is actually a very simple but effective build for this item from the game. I like how they captured that, honestly. They used that monkey kid staff piece at the bottom right there. And you could just attach that to that 2x2 tile that's used in a really nice studs not on top technique build for this tower right here. And there's not too much else going on with the interior of this tower design. Still, I am very impressed how they got the shaping down from the game, almost giving it a Polygon 64 look to it, and having that really nice angle they captured with some very clever techniques. And I guess the only other part of the build I haven't covered is this firewall right here. And this row of flames is quite an annoying build to actually get together, but once it comes together, it looks great in my opinion. The only part I don't like is that they feel the need to continue that yellow base design with the plates at the bottom all the way to the corner under the tower, which looks a little bit awkward, but I mean, this is an angle you're not really gonna see. That's such a small nitpick if you ask me. That's it for the build. The instructions actually have effort put into them. We have some info on Ocarina of Time and some key art. Then they have some info on that final battle with some more art. And info on the characters included in the set, which they go over each of the virtues of the Triforce, which is really neat. I like when they actually have things inside the instruction that give a little background to the set. It does happen in 18 plus sets, but it's not a guaranteed thing. I really love this set. I mean, look, LEGO has not given us enough 18 plus Nintendo sets with quality builds that are minifigure scale. I mean, this is the only one besides the Deku Tree, and I vastly prefer this over the Deku Tree, which is the only other LEGO Legend of Zelda set. The design here is a build that I'm much more drawn to, and it doesn't feel like the price is ridiculous. However, the price is the worst part of the set, and we'll get to that later. For now, I absolutely love the build for Ganon right here, which is very detailed, captures some great angles, and has a nice level of posability and some great prints and everything there. It looks like the design from the game. The build for this structure right here actually has some very unconventional part usages. And just a little diorama build right here works very well for this final battle without having this be over $300. I absolutely love the minifigure for Zelda and Ganondorf, which are incredible. I mean, those two are some of my favorite minifigures of 2026 so far, and the level of detail just goes beyond so many of LEGO's other even more popular licensed themes like Star Wars and Marvel. I mean, just printing all over these figures, and even like that amazing cloth cape on Ganondorf. It's all awesome, and I'm also a Smash Bros. Fan, so I'm like, oh shoot, we got Smash variants of these characters. Even that reprint of Link from that Deku Tree set is perfect. I mean, the design there just doesn't have any flaws already, so they could easily transfer that to a cheaper set like this, and it fits in the scene, so it all makes sense. Part of me does wish that LEGO went above and beyond and gave us the different tunics for Link, or even what's a really key part missing in this set, the light arrows. Like, yeah, they should have probably included that because that's used in this final battle. It feels like the only thing missing from this set. Hey, at least we got the Megaton hammer. The one thing that weighs this set down is the price. $130 is too much for what's included in this set, even with the detailed figures, buildable and mini. I really wish this was just $100. That would be the perfect price tag. It gets to the point where I'm kind of like, geez, like I like this scene build right here a lot, but I almost wish that you just gave us this figure right here and the minifigures for like a $40 to $50 price, because then more people could afford it and it wouldn't feel so overpriced. But at the end of the day, it's such a quality build in so many different angles that I think the price doesn't weigh it down too much. Now, if it was like 150 or 170, I would have much more of a problem with that. And I do think this is a much better value than that Deku Tree set, which felt like it was $100 overpriced. With all things considered, I'd give this set an 8 out of 10. I really do love the build here. I love the minifigures. I love the interpretation of the characters. And I really hope to get more Nintendo sets like this, especially Zelda sets that are cheaper than that original $300 set. I say let's go even cheaper. Give us $20 to $50 sets. That would be incredible. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you agree or disagree? LEGO sent me this early. Thank you, LEGO. All opinions are my own, and I'll only give you my honest opinions on this channel. Subscribe here for more up-to-date LEGO reviews and LEGO news. Seriously, you leaving a comment, clicking that like button, and clicking that subscribe button helps so much when the algorithm is very rough, and I'll see you later. Peace out. Bye.